okay here, and we're watching a Crazyhouse League match between Marlonc, who's top board 4 for his team, against andreijl, who's the House Discord admin and one of the founding members of the House Discord. Marlon on move 3 says he avoided my crap. So what actually happened? andreijl was promising to play f3 before the match in the chat, joking around, but plays d4, so it's a d4, d5 game, London system. And already he's avoided the prep? Okay. And already Marlon makes a slight positional error in blocking in his bishop. It's very solid, it's very safe, but it's slightly passive. We see Oppa, the finisher, James OG, Legion Destroyer, all in the Crazyhouse League, also watching. Zarazar as well. PKR 5025, and also T-Cubes AK and Coney 131 and below me, who are not in the league, are also watching. Okay, so andreijl playing very quickly. It's an 8+8 game of Crazyhouse, and he's got more than 8 minutes left. He has a decision now. Do I take with the knight or the pawn? So taking with the pawn does create a weakness here. But it keeps the knight on the king side. On the other hand, taking with the knight keeps your weakness secure, but it also opens up the queen onto the king side. So there are advantages and disadvantages both ways. So Marlon going straight in for knight takes g2, which would be very annoying. And there are two ways of dealing with this. Just rook g1 is one way. Just castles another way. Bishop h3 is possible as well, I guess. As long as that bishop can't be harassed too easily. But it's possible it could be harassed with a move like this. It's more double-edged. Bishop h3 is quite sharp. Castles, just saying, look, black has nothing in hand. If you take me, just take back. It's a very good move from white. I think you should just give up this bishop and quickly back off. Back off and keep control. So Marlon says, not sure this works. Knight h5 felt too loose. So no, knight h5 is okay. So yeah, does this work or not? Actually, black doesn't have another pawn, but black can very easily get another pawn with knight takes pawn. So I just realised bishop here might be a way of continuing. Because that stops the knight sacking on the pawn. You could go here and take it and win the bishop, but then that gives white an extra move. You put the bishop on and then you try and defend. So something like this. That might actually work. And he took no time, now he's taking the time to think. I'd say defending is worth taking time on. The other thing really worth taking time on is when you have force mate. You know you have force mate instinctively, and you want to find it. And this is the sort of position, yeah, it is worth spending time on. So this is good. Takes. The problem is, yeah, so backs off looks good. Takes. Then black has a bishop that he could put here. But then white's got a pawn, so you just put the pawn here. And if takes, it feels like you're sacking too much. and white has control over this square with the pawn. So in this position, actually, I would actually be tempted just to even give up the bishop. White should be much better, says PKR. Well, yeah, white's got pieces in hand, so yes. But yeah, so this is an interesting line, and now it's 3 minutes in. Takes, takes. Now black would be threatening bishop here. Could even just play f3. That would be a very casual way of playing. Oh my goodness, I really did not expect this. You're giving material. And Marlonc reacts instantly, of course, because so it was a nice threat, but it was no time to attack when your king is on g2, because material just benefits. Material just benefits black. Takes. Well, I mean, I still think white's okay, but it was definitely a mistake. So obviously you must take the piece which is threatening g2, and now this again you can take. You might not want to take, but the problem is you can't take twice. Takes, because then bishop here lands. I mean, you can take twice, but it's precarious. Just put a bishop on, and it's takes, and then he's got a bishop in hand again. So it doesn't really help your position unless you want to run your king out to f3, which I doubt. I wonder if there's a case though, just saying, well look, black just has nothing in hand. I'm just going to go here. I mean, it's not. There must be a case for it at least. But what's the best defense? Probably the best defense is block with the knight, so you're not giving black more diagonals. Yeah, so Marlonc's style means that he often beats very good players. Yeah, actually this is nice. Yeah, and then knight here. That feels like a good approach. And you just want to clear away this pawn and eventually get in f3, and then you should be fine. So for example, if knight here, bishop here, takes, f3. And if there's any other move, then you just simply pick off this pawn and you've cleared up your structure. And now, and if, for example, bishop here takes, yeah, actually a knight here would be annoying. So bishop here, it's really not so clear. Yeah, knight here, bishop here is actually annoying because you don't want knight takes pawn, bishop takes, queen takes, because then there's knight here is going to come and pawn here if he has a pawn. Actually, black's not getting a pawn, so that seems to work. Yeah, simply knight here. Andreijl, but Andreijl running seriously low on time here. I mean, black's strategy is quite simple. It's just to make progress along these light squares. It's a good strategy, but he just doesn't have quite enough pieces. And that's what Deadman's alluding to in the chat, that he's a very strong attacking player, but and I'd say if he plays a style that you feel doesn't deserve to work, and to be honest, yeah, I play that style myself sometimes. It doesn't always deserve to work, but it can be very effective against stronger players. You need to show them your teeth, as it were. There's no point just sitting back and being positionally crushed by a stronger player. You have to give them all you got. that's what he does. Oh, okay. So that move I don't like. For exactly that reason. Black's got a queen in hand and another queen coming into the attack, and there's no attack forthcoming for white, despite having 3 knights and 3 bishops in hand. Probably objectively speaking, white is still winning. And that's a very nice move because you're defending the pawn, but you're also defending any queen invasion. Knight takes bishop will surely come, and followed by bishop h3, trying to threaten mate, this sort of thing. Just the attack must continue. And at some point, white needs to look for the counterplay. I mean, this knight doesn't really have any future apart from taking this bishop. As PKR says, white is still much better. Still much better, but a queen's a queen. So there is another idea actually, which is knight takes pawn, bishop takes pawn here. That's also an interesting idea. But again, it's just very easy to defend anything. Anything will defend. So take the bishop, and bishop here looks the most logical, but rook g1 should still be safe. I mean, if we go back, where did it go wrong for black? This is all fine. So firstly, blocking in the bishop was a slight error. This is fine. Going for the attack was also fine. This is also nice. Takes. Check is fine. Taking here is fine. This is. It doesn't feel like black did anything wrong. This is. I feel like black has played very well, really. So, yeah, he's threatening mate. I don't feel black's done anything wrong this game. So, I think it's just because black is black and moves second that he's slightly. I mean, even materially speaking, he's got a queen for 2 pieces. He's not. He's got a queen for 2 pieces. He's got more of his pieces on the board. So, and he has a safer king. So maybe we shouldn't underestimate black's position here. He has moves like queen g2, taking one of these 2 pawns, for example. Okay, so white does defend the mate in 1. That's very important. Queen here. No, queen there does. Queen here, threatening the knight, and yeah, I mean, I'm starting to like black the more I look at it. So queen for 2 pieces. I guess the reason why people like white is black only does pieces in hand are worth like if you can get them on with tempo, then you can really create a lot of havoc. I mean, this is a problem. Already white is having to look for mate because pawn takes knight is again a mate threat. There's no time, for example, for knight takes pawn, king f8. Oh, maybe there is. Knight takes pawn, king f8, and say something like bishop h6. Already you just checkmated. So black's attack is faster. Okay, takes. Probably that's the only hope if you want to just go all in and then go pawn at g7. It could even work. It could even work, actually. I'm not convinced it doesn't work, so let's calculate it. If knight takes pawn, if you go here, knight at h6 is checkmate. So you'd have to go something like king d7, king e8. If you take it, if you simply take it, pawn at g7 takes this bishop at f6. If you ever go down, knight h6 here and pawn here is looking dangerous. So bishop f6, if you go here, yeah, so you have to go up. But if you go up, then he has another bishop, which can land here. And if he goes up here, the knight lands here, and if he goes here, another knight lands here. So knight takes e6 is really promising. Probably just pawn takes and say, can I find safety on f7? Knight takes f6. So after this, just king f7, takes the rook, takes back. And if ever knight g5, just take it with the queen. Sacrifice. Oh. Okay, so you played at g2. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe knight takes e6 was too much. And this makes a lot of sense, this move. Because bishop takes pawn, king takes. There's actually a very nice move here. And it doesn't work. Okay, so the very nice move I was thinking was knight at e1. Hoping for rook takes, queen in, it doesn't work at all. And anyway, the other rook can take it. So takes. Doesn't seem like there is anything, you can just take it, and the diagonal is covered. There's no knight check, it's covered. I think... Can I ask Oppa, who's winning? Knight at black got this. Really? So bishop takes pawn is now looking dangerous. Okay, so the problem here is back rank. Oh, this is going to be painful. You must defend... You have to just defend with the bishop. No, but then queen here is mate. Wow. So you have to take it, but then the queens come in. Yeah. So it's really all over now. Yeah, queen g1 is mate. White had to go. White had to go for it. I mean, okay, let's just wind back to, say, this position. We said even here we thought white was winning, and yeah, PKR is right. And going back, I'm not going to look at all the details, but just even in this position, knight takes e6. If you go bishop takes, I think, not that bishop obviously, because that's the one we want for mate. I think this is just mate, pawn at g7. But apparently it's not. Pawn at g7, king e7, pawn at f6, king to d7, rook a to d1, blocks. Okay, so it's complicated. So what is the continuation in this position? Bishop at a3 check, and so he blocks with, say, a knight. Bishop at h6 check. Okay, he doesn't have the blockers, that's the point. And then bishop takes g7 will be mating. But the thing to do here, I thought, was just to take with the pawn. Isn't this safe? And apparently not, because pawn at g7, king takes, there's still bishop at f6. But I thought, don't go king takes, go king f7. And this looks safe. But g takes h takes knight, takes back. Now white's got a rook, knight at g5. The queen is no longer guarding this square, so we go here. Pawn at f7, king d7. So I thought we're safe here. But bishop at e8, we can't get out. We're not safe. Bishop at e7 takes, knight here, comes back, knight takes pawn, just pick up a pawn, pawn here, run, and rook here, checkmate. So, yeah, knight takes e6 is a complicated idea which was working, but complicated. And then when it got to this position here, already here it's too late, but here's your last chance. Knight takes e6, and knight takes e6 is still winning in this position, potentially. Maybe not, but potentially. Bishop takes, so it's not, yeah, it's, well, the engine can't quite decide, but bishop at c5, king to e8, Yeah, it can't quite decide. Anyway, let's go back to the live game. And this time Marlonc is white. Piece odds. Takes. Knight here, bishop there, bishop there, pawn here. Oh! So Marlonc just picks up a free piece. And andreijl going for a counter-attack. Yeah, bad blunder, of course. Can't afford to hang pieces. Yeah, after knight e3 he did have a tough position. Got to try takes f3, bishop takes f3, and pressure on b7. Okay, so lots of pressure on the e2. Square, but I mean white's got so many pieces he can just protect, even protect with a check if he wants to. And that's what he does protect. Just using all his pieces. The only danger in such circumstances is you run into a smother, but there's no risk of that. Okay, so he's looking maybe to put a knight on f5. It's very comfortable. At some point push d3. So historically they haven't played so much, and Marlon has had the better. 4 games to 1 before this 2-game match. Takes. Bishop takes. This is still very well covered. He's only got bishops in hand. Could also develop with tempo like so. Attacking this one. That would be reasonable. Put a bishop here, bishop here. Try and take out these two and follow through. So that's the only plan I can see for black. Unfortunately, after bishop here, white probably just puts another knight on here, or yeah, actually even just here. That's very annoying. So a knight is landing here, or this existing knight will probably come in. Okay, white just needs to actually develop because he's a little bit cramped. Sacrificing is also reasonable, but there's no need. But it's reasonable. Probably e3, sorry, d3, d4, everything is good. So testing, is the mic's not working okay? Yeah, it seems like the mic. Okay, sorry if the mic was unclear. e3 again makes a lot of sense. Legion says he thought Obi had the previous game in the bag. Yeah, but it required a certain style of play, that previous game. It was not... it required some very sharp play from white to be able to take advantage. Okay, so we have a concrete plan. Grab a pawn and put it on g7. It's a strong plan. Basically, this is coming. If ever one of these knights is taken, it's very easy to take back. It's very, yeah, black is toast in this game, absolutely. White's very safe. I mean, black does have this idea, bishop e2 at some point. It's not terrible. I mean, it's objectively completely lost, but there's nothing objective about this game. And anything can happen. Okay, so Obi, aka andreijl, going into quite a long think on this move again. How to defend. And probably as we saw in game one, his instinct is to defend with attack. But that's not so, it doesn't really work, I don't think. So rook takes knight, for example. Takes, king takes, bishop here, check. If you go here, rook here is checkmate. So you'd have to come this way, rook here, king here. You lose your queen with check. Another queen lands here. Probably, if you have anything else in hand, you promote. If you had a knight in hand, that would also be mating. So these sorts of ideas, what do we have in hand? We have a bishop, so you can put a bishop in hand, king here, and then come in. So that would be, if I was asked, how do I predict the game's going to go? I'd say something like this. And it doesn't work, so andreijl needs to be more cautious. Something like bishop takes pawn, knight takes king here, and I hope that knight is slightly out of play. That's what I'd go for. All he has is a bishop. The knight can't really come out very easily. In the meantime, we're threatening this square next. Rook takes knight. The knight is hanging at the moment. We're threatening king takes knight. It's not so bad. I mean, it's probably terrible, objectively speaking, but it's perfectly playable. You get a few pieces in hand. You're threatening pawn at e2 or bishop at e2. Already this knight's being undermined. You try and undermine this one as well. You try and come in on g2. So black does have plans. Rook takes h4. No, so I wouldn't go rook takes h4. But yeah, for exactly this. Yeah, anyway. But I was predicting rook takes h4, but it didn't look profitable. Okay, good developing move from Marlonc. Yeah, rook takes h4 you could promote, but I'm saying even more powerful was actually just taking on f8. It's a forced mate. But okay, we're not going to see that line. And the point is bishop takes, bishop, queen takes, and bishop d2 isn't quite the same move it was, unless somehow black could get two knights, and then it would be a very strong move. So if you imagine a bishop on e2, and you could take this knight and clear out this knight as well, you'd have ideas of knight at f3 takes, knight at g2 mates. You have to sort of think ahead. What? I thought on the stream I had a forced mate after rook takes h5. You take, I mean I can repeat it. It's if rook takes h5, take the bishop with check, king takes, bishop at g7, and the king is like back rank mated basically. If the king goes this way, it's mate. If he goes this way, you've got a rook in hand, so you go here. So he has to go here. You take the queen. if you try to run up, then you have a, at this point you've got a queen in hand. So this must be mate. Queen here, knight here, queen here, mate. If you take with the king, then you have queen here, king here. You have a bishop, bishop here, queen here, and queen takes here. So yeah, it's. Oh, you don't have a rook. Okay, that's true. Oh, yeah. Okay, but there is a mate anyway because you don't need the rook to mate. Oh, you do need the rook to mate. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, I'm totally wrong. Okay, so this got taken, and then he took the knight, and yeah, now this gets, yeah, this is not. You're right. I was imagining he had the rook already. This is absolutely true. I think the best approach was just takes and king f8. That would be. Yeah, this queen on the back rank is trouble. So Marlon is trying to think how to finish things. Do I take the rook? Do I throw in a check? So many choices. The problem is anything like bishop here could quite easily defend. Yeah, okay. Bishop here. Just going for material, this move. Queen takes bishop, knight takes queen. Going for a queen. Does it give black any hopes? Okay, so queen takes bishop, knight takes queen. What is black going to do with the bishops? Just wondering if there are any tricks. Are there any tricks in the position? Because you're not immediately mated. So Obi really thinking a lot. I think it's an automatic take, giving up the queen. Ah, that's true. PKR's seen something. This, and knight f3 check. Yeah, that's true. I missed. I saw like ideas of knight f3, but I thought we had to. Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, so this is good. Of course, just king d1, knight takes queen, and the white king is safe. But there are definitely some ideas here. I was thinking if we had a, yeah, I guess I have to just go for something like that. Just give yourself some hope. Because it's just a queen. Well, it does give your opponent a knight, which might be the knight they need to mate you. That's the only thing. So is there anything slower? Oh, king takes. Ouch. Okay. So if queen here, check, bishop here, and it's not so clear. And now you've got to have two knights, so you might even have some tricks. You have some tricks, maybe. You know, if you can ever put a bishop here and a couple of knights here and here. But okay, that's all out the window. So black's got a really weak king and has to defend it or try and find a counterattack. PKR didn't like king takes e7. Well, I can understand it though. So something like knight here. Let's go for this idea. It's 6 seconds on the clock. Okay, you got plus. Okay, he does it. Nice. He's got +8, but he has to play with a bit more. Okay, so it looks like Marlon is going for the kill, but that's giving a queen. Okay, so obviously if you back off, you get mated, so you've got to be careful. And if you step up, you also get mated. But if you step this way, do you get mated? well, he's similarly asking the question, because I don't see it either. Here, I don't see a mate. And now you can get some pieces on. Bishops especially. Juicy pieces. And queen takes rook is check. Okay, that is true. That is true. That's slightly annoying. Bishop here though, because the bishop actually provides cover. So bishop here is interesting. 8 seconds left. Bishop here, because if takes, there's cover. Oh, he's found bishop there. That's very nice. Ah, but Marlon has seen the mate. Oh, Marlon's seen a very nice mate with rook at h8. Okay, I missed that completely. He grabbed the rook, and the rook is what he needed for mate. Really nice play from Marlon, and he takes the match to love. Yeah, well played. Was there a critical point? I mean, obviously, sacking the piece was fairly critical. You could ask, yeah, what is the best defense in this sort of position? Bishop at b4 check, providing cover. Okay, that's quite clever. Bishop to d2, and then rook takes h4. And white promotes to a queen, but maybe you get some nice ideas. So bishop takes d2, queen takes d2, and then grab this knight as well. And white doesn't have that much in hand, despite having the queen. So bishop here maybe, but we can easily defend bishop here. And we can even evacuate. So it's not so straightforward. Knight takes f5. If you ever do that, then there's this. And suddenly black's got some ideas. At e2 is nasty, because if you take it, there's a bishop here, so you might go here. So this is how things could have been different, potentially. Rook takes pawn is interesting, so you're threatening rook takes rook, so we take this, but then this pawn could promote. I mean, this is just imaginary lines. Queen takes queen, knight takes queen. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. So instead you move the rook to say g1. So black does have tricks, is the point of this. So we could promote to queen, or we could go pawn at a3. Yeah, and so black does have counter ideas involving this rook takes knight. And yeah, I was wrong about the immediate rook takes knight. I thought was mate because of this, and bishop at g7, but we don't have the rook yet, is the problem. So even king g8. We can't both take the rook and keep guarding g7. So it's really actually not so clear. Rook at h8, queen takes, bishop takes, king takes. You have so much material in hand, it's not so clear. So white is better apparently, but it's not clear. If you try and do something like queen takes g4, bishop at g7, and black can start putting those pieces on around his king, and maybe black's doing okay. Quite surprising, after the initial blunder of the piece, that black can still defend quite nicely. So it's tough to defend, but so what went wrong? Takes here. Looks like this is a bad move. Just wasting a pawn on e4 is not a good move. And again, this way of defending the g2 pawn again is not ideal. Black could actually castled, and I guess black's pieces are just better developed, even though he's a piece down. So that's interesting to see. Okay, but the attack in the end was very nice. Sacking the queen, and just a very beautiful picking up the rook and getting this knight and rook mate. That's really well spotted. Okay, good games, and congratulations to Marlonc. Marlonc, rather.